elections on the 3rd of May. Unusually this year that the whole council is up for re-election, and following recent boundary changes, the City Council will be electing 101 councillors as opposed to the current 120. In addition, the number of wards in Birmingham is increasing from 40 wards, which had 3 councillors, to 69 wards, which is a combination of 1 and 2 member wards. So depending on which new ward you'll be in, you could find yourself voting for 2 councillors. As a result of those changes, we are also having to move a number of polling stations. So what we are encouraging everyone to do, just to make sure that the polling station hasn't changed compared to previous years, is to check their official paper poll card, which if you're registered, you should now have received, or to go online to birmingham.gov.uk/elections, and there's a postcode checker, so you can put your postcode in, and that will tell you which your polling station, or where your polling station will be located for 3rd of May. The deadline, if you're not registered, is on the 17th of April. So if you want to vote, you need to be registered. So I would emphasise that date. Also, I think a common factor that we're part of the Electoral Commission's sort of fraud prevention this year. And if anyone has any concerns about sort of fraud or integrity issues, please feel free to contact the Elections Office, the police, or if you're more comfortable, you can go via Crime Stoppers to report any sort of suspicious activities anonymously. And 4. So these are the first new boundary changes we've had for some 14 years. However, these have probably been some of the most comprehensive and complicated boundary changes that the city has certainly ever seen, and it's certainly, I think, one of the most complicated ones that the Local Government Boundary Commission, who are responsible for these, have undertaken in recent years. I understand that there were nearly over 1,000 responses to their initial consultation, which just goes to the strength of feeling. I suspect that for the first time people will become aware of the new boundaries is when they turn up to vote on the 3rd of May. We are undertaking various awareness activities, including posters, flyers, media campaigns, adverts in newspapers, just to raise that awareness. We're going to be working with the political parties from across the board to make sure people are aware of all the issues. And again, but it's emphasising that still, if you want to vote, this is your opportunity, because elections were now for the City Council will be taking place once every 4 years, when the whole council will be up for election, as opposed to the current status quo, which was an election, 3 elections in every 4 years. So now's the chance to if you want to make a difference, now you have to do it. Otherwise, your next opportunity will be in 2022. Referred to as what the Kerslake report, when a number of recommendations were carried out by a former civil servant into sort of the governance around Birmingham City Council. One of his conclusions was that because we had elections nearly every year, the City Council was constantly in election mode, which affected its decision-making process. Consequently, he thought that it would be far better if we moved to elections once every 4 years, so decisions could be made without having to worry about going into elections and matters such as that. That was back in 2014, and ever since then we've been preparing for these elections, and it's taken 4 years for us to get into this position and to make sure that we're ready to go for 2 all-out elections. Accurate figure, because we only provide it by ward, but the average figure for a local election is probably around 28 to 32%. In some of the in the city wards, that can be lower. So one of the things we want to do is trying to encourage electors in those wards, particularly to vote, to register and to vote. So because they have a big influence on the outcome of the elections. And again, if you don't vote, then you're not going to have another opportunity to vote in the City Council elections for 4 years.